Hello, welcome to my vlog. I'm Ron. Did you feel that? Today, continuing on sort of from my last theme of energy-centric universe, it's an apology to bygone wisdom, sages of old. If you'll recall, in the mythical understanding of the universe from indigenous peoples and ancient cultures, we had the elements that made up the world described as earth, wind or air, water, and fire. And of course, as soon as we heard fire, we assumed we were dealing with savages who thought that fire was a substance of the universe. Well, if you've been keeping track in the last few years, we have added plasma to the states of matter. And lo and behold, if fire is not actually debatable in some circles, whether it's quite intense enough, but still, as far as I'm concerned, plasma. I remember when I was younger, I stumbled across the word phlogiston, and I thought that was a cool word. Before the turn of the century, scientists used that word, phlogiston, to describe the substance of fire. And were it not for a hiatus in our understanding, quibbling over terms, where we threw phlogiston out and decided it was not a legitimate scientific substance, instead of plasma, we may well be using the word phlogiston to this day. Wouldn't that be so much cooler? So as science figures out how to measure, examine, put their yardstick on less and less solid substances, we are going to be welcoming, acknowledging, accepting more and more quasi-material substances into our repertoire of acknowledged stuff. That it's okay to talk about, it's okay to factor in to the universe as we understand it. So some other things that are getting on the radar are accepted by science, which are what I will call border elements. Not real, you can't put your finger on them, and yet obviously a part of the real world that we live in. Some of these might be gravity. Obviously exists, and it's only because the effects of it are so obvious that science is willing to acknowledge it. We can measure gravity simply by measuring how much we weigh, our mass, and attributing that through a mathematical formula to gravity. Magnetism, we use it all the time. What is it? We have theories about, the exact arrangement of electrons, atoms, and molecules that are responsible for magnetism, but it's kind of a backwards effect to cause understanding that we have. Light is a good one. Light is a big one. We see it obviously with our eyes. It's staring us right in the face, so to speak, and obviously light exists. Exactly what it is, we don't know. How it works, how it can be used, manipulated, affected, all over that. Physics, we're pretty good at. Sound, of course, sound being essentially a vibration of the other more material elements, the earth, wind, water, and fire. Although I'm not sure anyone is vibrating fire yet with sound. That could be interesting. Another one we study a lot but don't really understand is thought. There is an electromagnetic element that we can measure with sensors. There are some chemical elements. But aside from that, what thought is, especially when it crosses the border into consciousness, is still up in the air. Now, what I find interesting about these border elements is when we start combining them, we start really building and affecting reality in strange ways. I would actually hazard to say we create precursors to solid reality when we use these border elements in creative ways to set up a situation. For example, mathematics, which I've already referred to. Mathematics is a symbol representing a value of something, a measurement, combined with thought to extend our thinking out in directions, predicting realities and even creating realities that were not there before we applied mathematics to them, or perhaps that we didn't see before we used mathematics to decipher them. Mathematics is essentially a language. Language is another border element. It's not a thing in itself, and yet it symbolizes things, and it again combines thought and allows us to rearrange things, either describing things that are, or invent and propose things that don't even exist yet. Music. Music takes thought, a little bit of mathematics, and sound, and combines them together into something that's very transient, very not solid, and yet very powerful. No one can deny music's power to create new experiences that have not been before, or ones that have been before and we're describing them without words, without pictures. Pictures are another good one. Pictures take light and thought and a little bit of language and combine them together to represent things very dynamically, very powerfully. We can either take pictures or draw pictures of things that exist, or we can use pictures to plan, to describe things that do not yet exist. Not many complicated constructs of man have been attempted before pictures were drawn of it first. Mathematics were used to describe its characteristics in engineering terms, and language of some sort was used to explain it to ourselves and other people. Pictures, of course, can be extended into video. Moving pictures can either describe something that is, something that never was, something that we would like to see, and take the actual film or video element away from it and a play. We act out, we play out, we have theater of events. Again, that maybe we would like to see happen, and maybe that already happened. And whether we're doing this on the stage for other people or for ourselves to act out and play out wanted future scenarios, that is what most of our childhood was about. Acting out, playing out what we imagined we could do, would be when we got older. And subtly and in ways that are a little difficult to describe, money is another border element. It's a concept that incorporates symbols representing or taking the place of things. It has a bit of mathematics in it, a lot of mathematics in it, language in it, a lot of personal energy tied up into it. Money is another border element that we use and create wonderful things with. We get a little too caught up sometimes in money as the thing and the goal itself, rather than money as another expression like art or music or language to create things with. more and more we are acknowledging these types of border elements. We're learning new ways, new powerful ways in this digital technological age to manipulate, play with these things, create with these things, express, communicate ideas, plan things, and they're becoming more and more real all the time. In that way, our solid physical material energy realm is becoming more, I'm going to say magical, because 100 years ago that's what all this would have been, pure magical. We are working with energies more directly in wonderful new ways to create realities that are fantastic. And that is a lot of the theme of my research, of this vlog, and where I'm going with my life. Join me next time. We'll go a little further.